All right, so we've built this report. That's great. Now what do we do with it, Mr. Smarty Pants SEO guy, right? Well, there's a lot of things you can do with this, but I'm going to show you I think, number one use is out of the gate, getting this into Excel. So number one, the first thing I did is I went in here and I changed my date range because this site doesn't have a ton of data because it doesn't get a ton of traffic. So I went and set minus 90 days for our date range. So we go back 90 days, we've got 3 months of data, hit apply, and if you saw the initial report here, the numbers were a lot smaller as far as clicks and impressions. Now we've got a bigger data set to work with. That's great. Now what you want to do is put this into the view mode, which gives you a little more ability to play with this. And again, you can look at things in here and try to make some assumptions and kind of review the report in here, but I just as soon get this in Excel, so you can go to export data. I'm going to put this into a CSV file and save this. And in a moment here, I'll be able to crack this open and get it in a format that I think a lot of people are going to be more comfortable with. A lot of us spend a lot of time in Excel, so I like to work in here when I'm working with bigger data sets like this. So now you can see we've got all of our points of data here. So in this first column, these are the queries for the last 90 days for our website. Every keyword that we showed up for in a search on Google over the last 90 days. That's in this first column. This B column is what gets really interesting though, and this is what really separates us from that Google Search Console report, and that's why we built this in the first place, is we can not only just see the query, we can see which page ranked for that query, and then how many clicks and impressions that page got for that keyword over our 90 days, and then where we ranked for that keyword. This page, for example, the casinos map page got 68 clicks for the query Michigan casinos map, 1,514 impressions, and it on average appeared in about the 4.7th ranking. So a little closer to 5th on average than it did on 4th, but a pretty good ranking, which is why we got a pretty decent number of clicks. So what do you do with this, right? I think the most important thing you can do here is find opportunities. So take your top row here. Let's put a filter on this. And for me, if you're already ranking out pretty well for something, maybe you want to go from third or fourth to first. Obviously, that's a perfectly worthwhile goal, but sometimes you might see that there's somebody in front of you that you're just not going to beat. So some of the ways you can really move the needle in terms of getting more visibility and some more traffic is looking for some things that might be just kind of at the bottom of the first page or on the second page of Google results. So, you get in that like 8th to 20th range. So if you put a number filter on your average position here and say, okay, I want to be or look at keywords that rank between 8th and 20th over the last 90 days. Let's take a peek here and then let's see which got the most impressions. So if somebody does a search and that first page of Google search results, if you're in there, that counts as an impression. So let's sort this largest to smallest and see what got a lot of impressions. For me, being fairly familiar with this site, I'm going to see that right now one of the things I found interesting in terms of the total number of clicks coming through is best grass seed for Michigan, right? Okay, we've got an average ranking of 18th here. So unless somebody scrolls past the first page, that's not going to count as an impression. And despite the fact that we're ranked pretty low, there's still 210 impressions. So that's quite a lot because most people aren't going to move past that, right? And we still are able to get a click. So to me, this seems like something that has these numbers seems like a real opportunity. If we could boost this up to, bottom of the first page, middle of the first page, this impression number is probably a lot higher. And there's a lot of clicks to be had. So I would go into this page and start looking for ways we can further improve it for best grass seed for Michigan. So whether that's changing the page title, whether that's changing some subheadings, making a little more in-depth content on the subject, or even looking at some other pages around the site that may mention grass seed and linking back to this page to give it a little more juice, some link juice from our own site can help boost that up in a lot of instances. So you can really go through this and page by page, whether it's your home page, whether it's individual blog posts, go through and start running filters and just starting to see what are your opportunities for these individual pages. What are the keywords? Select a few of them, start building out a list, and then going through and using some basic SEO tactics and start optimizing these pages to improve your visibility, get more traffic, and grow your organization. So hopefully that helps. I think this will help get you started down a good path. And again, this is completely free. You don't have to pay a monthly fee for this stuff. These are free tools. You can run this report whenever you want once you get it set up and keep optimizing away. So I'm Adam Henige with Netvantage. Hopefully this was a big help to you. If you've got questions, reach out. We're always happy to help.